Okay, good night, good evening, good night. So what I'll do now, I hope you liked the 8th chapter of the robots. Hopefully, if there will not be interruptions later tonight, we should finish this saga, which supposed to be introductory, but kind of like more material was added because I understood it's necessary. So hopefully, if no interruptions will occur, we can finish today this kind of like introductory saga. But it is important. I think it's important to take samples. I've already taken 3 samples from the metal container that I conducted the experiment yesterday. That it was documented, like with the fire and the pee and the germs and also all sort of like micro ants from from the soup, if you remember that I've added. So. Now what we'll do is we'll take a look on the slides. I didn't do it before, so we'll do it with you. Like I didn't pre-review it. I just would say that, from the look of the container, so what's evident is several things. First, I've added a large amount of pee actually. So there is the whole mixture is kind of like, covered with like several centimeters like a layer of pee, which is maybe I've added too much, but it's not really a huge problem because in the long range, it's an ecosystem, so it's supposed to stay for several weeks at least. Before you see something before you kind of change it drastically. So and by that time, I'm sure it will all will be mixed up. And also initially the initial aquarium that I described in the previous video, the 8th chapter of the robots, also contain a lot of pee, so it's okay. But it might be, it might make the samples more more like divert the population to the lower, more like lower Neros that are the natural ones, like what I call the 0 generation or the first generation Neros that they come directly from my body, and they are mostly they are small. You don't see there are also varieties, but you don't see the huge ones that go out of my body in both the ecological pathway or the energetic pathway. And also, what's new that it's kind of the first time that what I've done here is this is kind of an ecosystem, but I also try to energize it by adding toilet paper and burning it with turpentine. But unlike in the crucible example, this was very shallow fire because it didn't burn I stopped the fire because I didn't but it didn't burn very thoroughly like with the crucible, because in the crucible we don't have much water at all, only a little bit of canola oil, and here we had copious amount of pee, so it and the pee of course is not flammable, so most of the toilet paper is still not burned and just stays there. I don't mind it because it's to the best of my knowledge it's made of cellulose, and I don't see why the creatures wouldn't be able to eat it. As they say in Hebrew, ירצו יאכלו, לא ירצו לא יאכלו. It's kind of an old joke that if they want, they will eat it. If they don't want it, they will not eat it. With reference to some guy that that was caught in the customs in the airport with several dozens of kilograms of coffee, and so in the customs, so the officer asks him on what what is this? So we said that this is food for his birds. So so the officer said, but what your birds they like to eat coffee? So he answered, if they want, they will eat it. If they don't want, they will not eat it. So it's an old joke. So I mean, if they, I mean, maximum in the, so they didn't eat the toilet paper. I don't see how it can hurt. I would want it to burn more, but I mean, just because of the pee, it didn't burn. The turpentine only burns like, it burned very, I mean, quickly, but shallow. Anyway, I don't think that, I mean, I've managed to energize like the mixture by a lot, only maybe a little bit, and it's kind of like a big mixture, but I did take samples from the top, like from one sample was taken from the burned like issue, so we're gonna be interested. Maybe we will start with that actually, and the others are more from like the like the from because it's kind of like from the like lower level with the from the wax, more from the lower wax layer. So let's just take a look and see what we've got there. I'm like maybe in the, like I will not today, but maybe in some of the next day, one of the next days. It's not very urgent. I will try to conduct another experiment with this container. Maybe fire, maybe electrolysis. Again, it's the same problem that I had initially with the aquarium. That I mean, so much material require much more voltage, and I don't have it. I mean, but there are ways to actually amplify voltage. Also, a way to trick electronics, like to use higher voltage and if like I place the rods very closely, I mean, so I mean, with high voltage, it might like be effective electrolysis, and there are also a way to actually amplify the efficacy of the electrolysis with magnetism. So there's many things that could be done, but it's not urgent for me because mostly it's the ecosystem piece. It's not the energized piece. But maybe I'll try to think like of like innovative way to actually energize the ecosystem, both fire and with electrolysis. It's not urgent, so let's just start with the examination. This is the water line. This is water line that is moving because I gently touched the cover now to align it with because the cover just moved, so I realigned it so you see the water line moving. You see Neros there. This is very nice one, but actually not many. Not a lot of stuff until now. So this is a life form, several life forms that difficult to identify, like to even see what they are. It looks like a Nero that was kind of like that got like a punch in his belly. That someone punched in the belly. And a nice fat Nero. Like the black stains are burned material. This one is certainly near. Maybe we'll try to zoom in. Nice. Very nice. Maybe we'll try to zoom in even more, but I don't know if we can see something from like. So there's another flow here. Cannot. I really need to clean this lens. I'll do it someday, I guess. I mean, not much can be seen. There are many things that look like tiny Neros, but I'm not certain. But they look like very small ones. Oh, maybe this is the big one? Yeah. Cool. Nice. Yeah, very nice. Okay, let's get back to 64. See those things that look like life forms, but maybe I have to place too much like material on the slide, so it's difficult to focus. Another very nice Stargate. We don't see a lot of Neros, but we see big ones. Again, again, it's continuing the phenomena that we've seen yesterday, that in several slides, that there is a very, kind of like a strong prosperity towards the bigger ones. I mean, no, unlike, like it was always, since the beginning, since December, and it was always, that we've seen both big and small. And actually, in the past, I've discussed the mathematical, there's actually a mathematical issue that, very interesting, the mathematical issue that is related to the frequency of the Neros, like of the sizes. And I spoke about it in the past. I don't want to speak about it again now and repeat myself. It's also quite not all viewers that mathematics and statistics, but maybe I'll speak about it some other time. Because actually you can, there are also things that you can deduce that are very interesting from the frequency. But what we see in the last couple of days and today also here is that the frequency is completely different from what I've seen until now, and that there is there are many big ones, but there are relatively a lot of big ones, and we don't see small ones. We see very relatively small amount of small ones, which is interesting, and again might be related to the theory that is now common in the internet, but this might be just a rumor that we are in the middle of an extinction event, maybe related to the radiation, maybe not, but there is a rumor in the internet that there is kind of like an extinction event of the red Neros, and if it's true, it might help, again, as I said in the previous video, explain what we see, because obviously the bigger ones are yellow ones and not red ones, because I've never because of several reasons, but if only of the fact because that I never use a symbolic language to I never gave any of the it's different command for the red ones, the yellow ones, and I've never asked them to be bigger for the red ones. So if only for that, it makes sense that the big ones are the yellow ones. So it might help understand why we see this kind of skewed frequency, that irregular frequency in this slide and also in other slides. In other slides from the last days. In general, I would say that the fact that you don't see many Neros in general here is not that surprising because again I've added a lot of material. Like I've added like at least like I would say half a liter of pee to the mixture. So and also water. I've added water. So yes, it's diluted. Okay, I'm fine with that because I want them to. It's the ecosystem. I want them to multiply like it's okay. To dilute the mixture if it's an ecosystem mixture that you want like to give them space to multiply and to create new life forms. Wow, this is so nice. This is so nice. I like it like at the time there's like a different thing. The focus change is different inside and outside. This is so nice. This is like Narnia, like a whole different world. And again, a huge one. This is 64 magnification. This is a huge one. Now, another option is that the extinction event actually applies both. I don't think it's true, but you can argue that maybe the extinction event is a. Oh my God! So this is the sausage that you like, the train. So there is another option that actually the extinction event, theoretically the extinction event, presumably that people are speaking about in rumors, applies both for the red and the yellows. And since only the yellow are so big, only the big ones survive because presumably they are much stronger. And that maybe also the yellow ones are dead if they are small. But I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. First of all, because my body mostly, from at least from the fluid samples like saliva, semen, blood, pee. My body contains mostly small ones, not big ones, and they are not dead because just yesterday we've taken a sample and it's fine. We are still there, and also I assume that if they were extinct in my own body, I would have felt it. It doesn't make sense that because they are my white blood cells and they are so important in my body. So it doesn't make sense that they are all dead in my body and I don't feel anything. But we can only ask the Titans. You know them. Ask them if they feel something. If the red ones are dead in their body. Like presumably if the extinction theory is correct. I don't know. But yes. Theoretically this might also be true that both the red and the yellow dies, but the yellow are sometimes big. So the big ones are not dead, but I don't think it's true because of the experiment that was taken, and because the way that I feel. And you can also ask like the Titan females how they feel when the red ones are dead in their body. This is definitely, the train that the people are so fond of in Israel. I call it sausage, but okay, train is also fine. Okay, so that's it. Okay, fine. In line with what we can expect, I would say, and following yesterday's samples and also following what you could expect by the fact that I diluted the mixture so much. So, obviously, it will take time for the mixture for the ecosystem to thrive, but it's okay. Fine. Let's take a look at the two other samples that were taken not from the burned toilet papers, but from from the wax layer, from the lower wax layer. So let's see what you can learn from it. Just a second. By the way, I understand now why. This morning we had this incident with Yaakov that broke into the shower and threatened me that he will kill me. So now I understand, because I didn't know that because my lawyer didn't tell me, but actually yesterday morning, or not yesterday morning, yesterday morning maybe, or look, maybe, anyway, recently, without me knowing my lawyer, which is a public like lawyer, not a private one, and anyway, he sent like a request to the court that I will be released from this arrest, which makes sense because I'm here for nothing. And I couldn't really get like the response of the police prosecution, but anyway, it was set for a hearing on the 27th, which is very soon. And after and like a couple of hours later, it was postponed for the 31, which is again pretty soon, I would say. And obviously Shabak knew about it, and they don't want me to get released. So with the whole charade that was this morning, with like the walk into this the shower and the threatening of my life, was because these people, of course, they receive money in order to be like in this cell where I'm arrested, and of course to torture me. And they don't want me to get out of the arrest because first, they won't get salary, and second, they will lose their hope to get the nanobots that they still think that they're going to get the coffee from me if only they will place the correct buttons and use the triggers, the psychological triggers. So they didn't like the fact that there is like that the lawyer asked for like to stop the arrest, and that is actually the lawyer, the judge actually set like set it for hearing pretty soon. So of course, what's the best way to ensure that I will keep being under arrest? Of course, to lure me into a fight. So what he wanted me is to actually start a fight with him. So both of us will be arrested, but what does he care? He's a Shabaknik, So like, and I will of course spend like more and more months under arrest, and they will have get more salary from the state, and also presumably they will have further opportunities to reboot the robots, so we will give them all these famous juice for free. This is Israel, this is the Shabak, and this is the state of Israel. It's a shithole full of microbial, disgusting life forms. It's a shithole. So what we see here is, again, prosperity towards the fatter ones. Certainly, we see fat ones, and pretty and in a good quantity, actually. Nice. Quite a bit of fat ones and pretty big, not humongous, but pretty big and certainly fat. Again, I define the fatness, if it's not like trivial, as the proportion between the width of the ring and the radius. And I define the size as just the radius. Which is, pretty, common sense. And we will zoom in. This is a nice one. I want to zoom in. Nice, really nice. Not many life forms, and so, but okay, it will take time for the life form, for the Neros to create life forms, and we are fine with that. If I see, after a couple of days, maybe a week from now, that they do not create enough life forms, I will change the symbolic commands and specifically tell them to create more life forms. And but let's wait, a couple of days at least. So here we'll see more smaller ones, which is fine. because I mean we also need the smaller ones, which is great. Let's get back to the 150. What we see here is that there are also smaller ones. These are smaller Neros, which is fine. So not only the big and fat ones, but also the smaller ones. Overall, yes, I mean, so they are mostly, I mean, from what you can see now, they are centered more like, I mean, they like the wax layer more than like other layers. And this is, I mean, consistent with like, with what we've seen in this kind of container before, which is fine. And there are quite a bit of those actually. Like, I mean, yeah, really nice mixture. Yes. Okay, so not, I mean, pretty, I would say, homogeneous, if not boring, by the fact that, I mean, you don't see like almost no life form at all, and certainly not big ones. And the Neros are, I mean, they are evenly distributed with a clear inclination towards fatness. I mean, the average fatness is much, they're much fatter than, I mean, the average that we've seen like in the past. And pretty big, but not huge, not huge. Not huge. Okay, very nice. It's funny, you know, I don't know if I mentioned it, but since long ago, I understood from the Israelis that there is kind of like, I mean, like, I mean, like a rule in the Israeli intelligence that only people that sat in jail or and spend time in like like a psychiatric department, only they are allowed to actually travel like to Venus through the gate. And like, first of all, it's funny, and second, I mean, why should they care? Like, why do you think that I want to go there? I mean, did I ever like say that I want to go there? Did I ever do anything that, I mean, hinted that I want to go there? I have no inclination to go there. And I'll tell you another thing. If I wanted to go there, I don't need your gate. I can create new gates by myself. Yes, I can. Why do I need your filthy gates? I don't need it. Of course, it's their own interest that I will go there because they want to use me as a new incarnation of the Black Knights. But are you crazy? Like, why should I do it? Why should I want to do it? What incentive do I have to do it? The Israelis are insane, and they think that because they are all perverts and criminals, everybody is pervert and criminal. But no, not everybody are pervert and criminals. Okay, so this is more watery sample. I mean, less wax and more water. And we see life forms here. Nice. So more life forms in the water than on the wax. Neros are mostly like on the thinner ones, not fat ones. I don't know if it means something, but certainly they are like thinner than the ones that you've seen before. This looks actually like my pee. I mean, maybe it actually contains like a lot of pee, because it really reminds me of my pee sample, and maybe it's just that because I mean a lot of pee was added. So, and I've taken it like this. I mean, I've taken one sample like I mean from the burned like toilet. That this was the first sample. One was taken more like from like harvested from the wax, which was the second, and one more was contained more water, and this is this one. And actually, it really reminds me of my pee samples, and it makes sense because the water contains a lot of pee, because I've added like quite a bit of like as I said, something like half a liter of pee yesterday, like to the mixture. So presumably what we see here is mostly pee, my pee, which is fine. I mean, let's give it some time. Oh, I forgot to add salt, and you can see by the way the zombie, which is also something that is. I mean, as I said like in the previous video, that is also something that is typical to my pee, is to see zombies. Let's zoom in a little bit. You see the zombie? This is a zombie. This is not a life form, this is a zombie. And this is very typical to my pee, actually. So what we see is actually my pee. I mean, mostly this is another zombie, actually. Another zombie. I hope, I mean, something that possibly could happen is that because there were so many zombies right now, because of it contained, I mean, I added so much of my pee, maybe the Neros will think that, I mean, that's what I want them to do, like to create, like, I mean, a gallery of zombies, and maybe, like, in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we'll actually see that these waters are, like, I mean, are full with zombies, and it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, what the zombies, I mean, can do. Obviously, they do not hurt me, but I mean, I don't know if they can hurt anything or if they do anything at all. And certainly, I don't know if they can be used as a valid feeding material for the Neros, because, like, normal life form, whether they are biological or synthetics, are very nutritious for the Neros, and this was proven long ago. But I'm not sure the zombies are also nutritious for the Neros. So maybe we should, I mean, wait and see. Anyway, yes, this is certainly it. I mean. It resembles a pee sample, but of course it contained like more Neros than average pee sample, and also like debris from the fire and material that I mean can be found in the container, but not in my pee. I mean, thankfully. Another zombie. So I mean, yes, it's mostly my pee, but there is another possibility that actually, I mean, that the Neo just, I mean, that they were overwhelmed by by all those zombies, and they decided, I mean, that they need to create new zombies, which is, I mean, it's not completely negative. I mean, it's interesting, like, to see how, I mean, what will actually happen. Like, it's probably much less dangerous, I mean, than both like biological life forms and synthetic life forms, because I mean they are zombies, they are not really alive. But I mean, zombies have like bad reputation in Hollywood, but I mean mostly zombies are like, I mean, you know, they are like, I mean, you know, like actors, like in the Shabak or the various intelligence agencies. They just, I mean, they are shallow from the inside. I mean, they are hollow in the inside, and they can mostly speak, like, I mean, with using like when like, the operator says something. something definitely moved there, and it was not like in direct line. So it looks like a bug, but I'm not sure if it's something that is on the slide or or perhaps I don't know. Anyway, zombies are zombies, you know. They don't do much besides speak or yell, you know, and shout, but they are hollow actors, like the one that I'm surrounded like by all my life, unfortunately, and certainly during the last couple of years, and certainly now. Zombies and zombies and zombies. Okay, so fine. Okay, so I'm cool with the results. I didn't expect something incredibly interesting because we only took samples from yesterday, and the fire couldn't have changed dramatically because it was very shallow fire and only on the top layer, and the P mostly prevented a real fire to actually start on the container. So all is well. Yes. Everything is as expected, and probably I'll let it be like that. Maybe I'll add just salt now that I forgot to add, and I'll just keep it like that for maybe also maybe a little bit of silan, but mostly salt and a little bit of silan, and then we'll keep it like that for at least a week, I think. And who knows? Maybe until the next week I will be rescued from the Nazi prison. Who knows? I pray to God that every day that I will be rescued from the Nazi prison. But the container is fine as it is. We don't need much change, and so I'll eat dinner now, and hopefully after that I will finish the robots saga. So stay tuned for this channel because I will return. Hopefully, I'll be back soon. Hopefully.